Hello, how's it going? Today is going to be a typical formidable booktube video. My June wrap up is what I read in June, what books did I not like. There's a lot that I did not like, and then there was loads I really liked. I read 11 books in total in June, which is really good. I participated in the Whatever You Want-a-thon readathon, and my goal for June was to read 8 books, and I surpassed it. So the first books I read in June are my personal favourites, Poppy War and The Dragon Republic by R. Huang. And this is in the Poppy War trilogy. They're chunky boys. These books do not go on those 30-day weight loss journeys. They're staying as they are, they're who they are. It follows the main character, Rin, who's in her village. She's just chilling. She's not really chilling, she's having a terrible time. And studies for this test, and she gets into this military school called Singard. It's a military academy wanting every pupil to become commanders of the different provinces. There's so many different provinces in this book. There's Rooster, there's Snake, there's Tiger. There's so many. It's so cool but really overwhelming, and holy shit, I don't remember any of them. For the first part of this book, we're following Rin learning. She's in the academy, she's learning how to fight. And then the second half of this book, we're going straight into war. While she's at the academy, a war breaks out. She's going straight into the thick of it. And the second book is just complete war, complete politics, complete strategizing. It's really high fantasy. The author of this trilogy, I think she's so clever because she's relaying this on actual stuff that happened. I can't remember the war that happened. I'm dumb as shit. Don't take my word for it. She describes the details of the stuff that happened in so vivid that sometimes it's like too vivid. I just don't want that image, but it's something you need to read about, and I just think it was so amazing. The next book I read is definitely my least favorite of this month. It's called Desire by Anna Daly McCabe, and is the first book in the Brief Encounter series. This book is horrendous. Do not read it. It's a smutty. Don't read it. It's horrendous. The next book I read is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. It's a YA thriller. So this is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So there was a murder in her town. She basically solved it. That was the first book. The second book is along the same lines, but a person goes missing and she solves that too. The main character is an honest to God genius, and the police are just completely clueless and completely useless in these books. She is the police. She's the law enforcement. She is God. I really recommend this series as a thriller. It's really interesting. It keeps you on your toes. The next book I read is Credence by Penelope Douglas. And I vowed to myself, I'm never going to read another Penelope Douglas book. I'm done. How I would describe Penelope Douglas's books is very, very grey area. If it was real life, it would be, wow, that is considered horrible incest. But because it's a book and it's considered fiction, it's not grey area. Like in this book, there's incest, there's borderline abuse. In this book, the main character's parents both die. Her uncle rings her up being like, yo, come to us. So the uncle has 2 sons, so she goes up to where her uncle lives, which is of course in a deserted mountain area. It's like one cabin and loads of forests. They get snowed in for a couple months, so they literally cannot leave the house. I didn't rate this book highly just because I don't think I could differentiate reality from fiction, because I was reading it as, oh my god, this is disgusting. They're pushing her into having sex. They're pushing her into doing all these nasty shit. But read it if you like. Honestly, she's really popular. Loads of people love her. The next book I read is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. It's the second book in To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot remember anything from this book. I just want to finish the trilogy. It's a typical YA contemporary where the first book, the main character, she had love letters for each of her past loves, and they got sent out to each of those boys. It was a love triangle in this book. That's where the problem was. The main character didn't know who she wanted because 2 boys wanted her from her love letters. I actually don't know if she decided who she wanted in the last book. It's a really, really quick, easy book to read. The next book I read is We Come Apart by Sarah Crossan, and this is a poetry style book. It was like 300 pages. I read this for my 24-hour readathon, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, I felt so much for the 2 main characters. There's trigger warnings for abuse, there's trigger warnings for racism. I really love that book. The next book I read is Cress by Marissa Meyer.
Hi, how are you?
It is the 3rd book in their Lunar Chronicles series. The first book was a cyborg Cinderella retelling, and now it's totally changed. Each book in the series follows a different character. It's more of a couple of years ago book that was really prominent in the industry, I don't know. And the main character really immature, her choices were poorly made. The thing is, I love these books because I'm reading them on audiobook. There's a few male characters that hold my heart. They're so funny. All in all, it's a pretty good fantasy book. The next book I read is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and it's the first book in the Kiss Quotient series trilogy. The main character has Asperger's. She struggles really hard with social interaction. Because she had so many poor sexual encounters, she thinks she's shite at sex, so she gets an escort to teach her how to, you know, get better at the sexual intercourse. She just wants a training course of sex, which honestly everyone should have that. They begin to actually start having feelings for each other. There's actually fake dating in this too, which obviously promotes the feelings. I really enjoyed this book, it was really good. The next book I read is The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, and it's the second book in the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. It's a really typical YA fantasy book. Leah, the main character of the series, she's a princess. First book, she was like, no, I'm out of here, peace out. She fucks off to somewhere else, starts living her life. A lot of people are trying to kill her. I really love Leah as a main character. She's really strong, she's so determined. She doesn't take shit, which I really love as a main character in a book. Can you hear the rain? The last book I read is Ferris, Marissa Meyer. It's book 3.5 in the Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa Meyer. It basically follows the villain of this series, which is Queen Lavanna. It was really vital to read this book, I think. If you have read the series or you're planning to read the series, please read this book because you get to understand what some of the characters in the actual main series went through. But yeah, it was really interesting. I still hated Lavanna. She is just a prick. I think that was all the books. I'm going to leave now. It stopped raining. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.